Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop the chitter-chatter and get ready for what matters. You know, it's Tuesday Night Fight Talk. My name's Jaya McClain. I'm a former two-time Cruiserweight champion of the world, and I'm your host, and this is my show. Now let's go!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Night Fight Talk. I'm your host. My name is Jaya McClain, and I know all the fighters, the champions, the legends, and I bring them under one roof. And what do? We sit down and talk boxing. And tonight is no other than the one, the only, the three-time world champion coming out of Houston, Texas. Put your hands together. Start clapping right now. Start clapping right now for my man, Reggie Johnson. What's up, champ?
Hey, how you doing, brother? It's a pleasure to be on board with you. Thanks for sharing your platform with me, and let's talk some boxing, man.
Hey, man, thanks for coming, champ. You know, because right now, man, with this time of the world and where we are in the world right now, we need some good things to talk about. We need something to do. And I know everybody done watch all of Netflix already, so they might as well watch this show, right?
Oh, absolutely. Why not, man? And then, you know, that's why whenever I come across, especially a man, and I ask him, do he watch the ultimate sport of boxing? Whenever a man tell me no, you know, that kind of mess with me a little bit. I mean, you know, we like sports, football, this and that, but, you know, I think 9 out of 10 men you ask do they like the ultimate sport of boxing, they're going to say yes. So, yeah, let's push this, baby.
Let's push this further, this agenda.
That's right. Yes.
Hey, man, look, and then to be able to talk to people like you, to have y'all to come on the show, man, I mean, it's just a blessing because, I mean, you know, the guys that I'm bringing on the show, man, have, and I'm not trying to, you know, say nothing bad about none of these other fighters, but I truly believe that our era of boxing was like, was the real era of boxing. Everybody fought everybody. Everybody sparred everybody. It was a real fight time. So to have you cats, man, you know, to come on and share some of your stories, man, is a blessing, bro. So I really appreciate it, man.
I don't think too many people would argue with that. I think that you're right. The 90s was the last great era of boxing. And, you know, that's why I love the old school fighters, you know, when the best fought the best. Think about Raging Bull, Sugar Ray Robinson. Them guys fought 6 times. Ali fought Frazier 3 times. How many times did he fight Norton? 2? You know, he didn't do a rematch with George Foreman. But just think about the fighters from that era, how many times they fought each other, and the best fought the best.
Yeah. So it's a blessing, man. So, man, you know, I just like to say, I want to thank you for coming on, man. And your resume is impeccable, bro.
Brother, yeah, let me tell you this here, man. You know, boxing is the oldest sport. The ultimate sport of boxing is never going nowhere. When people talk about MMA coming in, taking over boxing, it'll never happen. I know boxing might go up and down, but it's not going. You know the history of boxing when you date it back to being the oldest sport. These fighters, and then when these fighters, so many fighters have so many stories to tell, who they fought, how they fought them. What they overcame, and then, you know, think about it. The fans and the people just see the fight. They don't see everything that leads up to that fight. Everything that's done to make it to that point, to where the bell rings. Right. And that's why we're working on documentaries. So a lot of these fighters, many of the fighters from the 90s and the 84 that was on the U.S. team with myself, me, Mark Breland, Tyson, Medrick Taylor, Fidel Whitaker, Virgil Hill, those type of guys. You know, those are the stories that I really want to document and tell from amateur to pro to the boxing world.
Right. And on my show, we just could touch on a little bit of all that, and you could just, you know, sprinkle the people with it because you not only was a 3-time world champion as a professional, you also had an outstanding amateur career.
Yeah, I was 96 and 12. You know, when I think in retrospect, I accomplished a lot in a short period of time. I was so in love with boxing, like Muhammad Ali. I started at the age of 12. At the age of, I lost my first 4 amateur fights. My first fight, I got disqualified for slapping. for slapping. But once I won that fifth fight, I think the next time I lost, I was fighting in the JO Nationals. You know, it just took off from there. And you know, I got a beautiful story to tell you that's gonna really trip you out. My first job was at Kroger's, a grocery store here in Houston.
Yeah, we got them down here in Atlanta. We got Kroger's in Atlanta.
Okay. Well, you know about Kroger's. Okay. That was the head guy, manager guy was a good guy. He took care of me. He became he communicated with Mr. James Carter, my father figure, mentor, and boxing coach. You know, me and Tyson got like the same story. He had Gus, I had Mr. James, the late Mr. James Carter. Right. And but there was a vice president there, a Caucasian brother, and he smoked a cigar, and he was so, man, the way he handled the guys who worked there was crazy. And I'll never forget this day, man. One day I was standing behind the counter looking at the work sheet and seeing what days I had to come in, and he asked me to do something. And I said, oh, I already clocked out. He said, I don't care, do it. And you know, but it was a build-up. Before I know it, man, I didn't hit this guy with about a 10-piece and knocked him out. And you know, I'm not saying this to brag, man, because I was wrong for doing it. But what I'm saying is, you know, I could just, you know, just sense I don't want to. I mean, the guy, just the way he treated people, man. You know, I don't care who you are. Even Ali. Ali treated the janitor the same way he treated the CEO. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and the top manager, he had met my mother, met Mr. Carter, and really supported me. Boxing made me the dates right for me to go to when I had to go to tournaments and things of that nature. And man, let me tell you, we had a meeting back at Kroger's, and my mother was there. The guy that I put the hands on was there, and the chief manager was there. He's having a talk. He said, listen, Reggie, you know you're boxing. I take care of you. Might do everything. I'd say, and I know Mr. Whatchamacallit was wrong. But if you had clocked out, he had no business telling you what you had to do. This and that. He said, man. He said, really, I just, you know, I talked to Mr. Carter, your mother. He said, can we put this behind us? And you know, I'm looking at the guy looking at me, and I'm like, I don't have a problem with it. It's over. And the guy, you know, said the same thing. But I went back to work, and man, the dude, every time I saw the dude, he just had this certain look at me. And one day, what I did was went back upstairs and told him, I said, listen, Mr. So-and-so, thank you for letting me come back to work. But man, I can't work around this guy, man. This guy is racist. This guy, you know, it's something. This thing gonna jump up again. And I'll never forget. And I lived about a half a mile, quarter of a mile from the Kroger's, and I was walking. That was the longest walk, because I'm trying to think how I'm gonna tell my mother I didn't quit this job, because you know, back then my dad wasn't around. He was locked up, and it was just me and my two sisters and my mother. And I never forget when I knocked on the door at those apartments, and I opened that door, and my mother saw that look on my face. And you know what my mother told me? What the goddamn hell you done did now? And hey, check this out, man. And I walked in the door. I said, I ain't do nothing. I said, Mama, I had to quit that job, because you know I was helping my mother, you know, with right. Money. I had to quit that job. I couldn't work around that guy. That guy, you know. And keep in mind, me and Tyson got the same story. I got a white daddy. Everybody call my white daddy in the boxing world. That's Mr. Carter was my white daddy. I say, this dude is nothing like Mr. Carter. He had the same complexion, but he's nothing like him. He don't think like Mr. Carter. I'm not gonna be around this guy. And then when my mother saw that I hadn't got into another squabble or fighting, now she said, oh my God. She said, hold on, I got something for you. My mother went in her room, came back, handed me an envelope with my name on it. And I'm looking at my name, and the envelope was open. I said, Mama, why you open my mail? Boy, I'm your goddamn mama. I can open your mail. I can do whatever I want to do. That's what my mother told me.
Right.
Hey, but check this out, yeah. I opened that letter, and I saw that it had USA, Colorado Springs, USA boxing team, and it was my first tour. I was 16.
Yeah.
And it was my first tour invite. They wanted me on the U.S. team at 156 doing Sweden, Germany, Denmark, and Japan.
Okay.
I always tell people that story, man, because that's when my whole life just changed, man.
Saved another one. Boxing saved another one.
That's right. There you go. That's it, man.
Yes,
I just wanted to share that story with you because hey, man, that's when it really took off for me. And
yeah.
I won all my international fights representing my country, the USA boxing team.
That's big right there.
Yeah.
That's big. So you got that good international experience early.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. At the age of 16, it's why I don't understand. What's the young kid now? I love him. He's like one of my favorite fighters now. Ryan Garcia. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
I think he's going to beat
Devin Haney.
Davis. Huh?
Oh, Devontae Davis. You think he's gonna beat Devontae Davis?
I think, and I have everybody telling me, saying, nah, he don't have enough experience. And I think about me beating and knocking out guys at 14, 15, 16. You know, hey man,
you got it. Sometime if you special.
Yeah, but I think Garcia is one of those special guys, man. He he's like a young De La Hoya. And, I was around De La Hoya. When I signed with the people in California, and as a matter of fact, I got a picture of him putting on my first belt, intercontinental belt I won when he was 16.
De La Hoya.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think Ryan Garcia is good. As far as him beating Tank, man, I really think that Tank has a lot of talent. It just depends on what Tank it is. Like, where's his mind? Like, his mentality as far as training and hanging out and all that.
I'm basing it both at their best, and I'm basing it on the style of their fights. And then the range and the size of this guy Garcia, he's got a good jab. And that dude got a quick hook. So and he got the reach. I take out the age, I take out all that, and everybody's saying that one thing we're gonna learn, just like we're gonna learn about Deontay Wilder. We're gonna learn a lot about him when he fight Fury again, right?
Right.
So this is the big test for
both of them, really.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia. Everybody talking about he's young, he's not developed yet, man. I just see this guy's style. I'm just going by basing on the style, man, and I just feel that, and you're right. Tank is a great fighter too, man.
Right.
He's a great fighter, but I'm just comparing the styles of fighting, the reach, and the way this guy jab and turn that jab into a hook and knocking these guys out.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
He's nice. Ryan Garcia nice, but I just think that Tank at his best, I think he's gonna be a little too much for him.
Well, that's how I see the fight. Both of them at their best. I'm seeing Tank at his best, and I'm seeing this young kid at his best. Right. And everybody's talking about him being young.
Both of them at their best, and it's gonna be a good one. I can't wait to see it. It's good to have something to look forward to in that game.
And boxing need that, and that and it's great for boxing. Whoever wins, it's great for boxing to see both of them guys. And the one thing that I've also learned too, whoever win that fight, whoever lose that fight, still can become a great fighter too. Because I lost my first world title fight, and
Yeah. You fought James Toney.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for your first title fight, you ain't challenged no chump.
Oh yeah, well. The real fighter that I was supposed to have been fighting was Michael Nunn. I never say fighters at that level ducking each other. I never would say Nunn ducked me or any fighter ducked me, but the people who control that, the managers and the promoters, hey man, why you think James Toney fought me 6 weeks after he fought Nunn? Because I had been in mandatory, way overdue. They kept getting buys, political buys. I was Tony's mandatory. He had to fight me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a quick turnaround. That was real fast. 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Toney, when he knocked out Nunn, that nobody expected that, and Nunn had been dominating the whole fight.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Nunn is the reason I ended up moving out to LA.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was with the Goosens, and they brought me out there to spar with him.
Oh,
That's
I
how
never
I
knew that.
Yeah, that's how I ended up out in L.A. So
I never knew that.
yeah.
Have you talked to him since he been home?
Nah, man, you know, I spoke to, who did I speak to the other day? I spoke to somebody the other day, and they told me they're going to put me in touch with him.
I talk to him all the time. I'll send you his number. I'll
Oh,
make sure
okay,
you get his number.
Yeah.
Call him. That'd be a big surprise for him.
Yeah, that's what's up. So
Hey, man, I've never met anybody with the mindset this man has right now, and we know what he's been through and how long he's been gone. And he's a positive man. He's a straight up. I mean, his energy is just good, man. His spirit is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got utmost respect for Michael Nunn.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Now, let's talk about that James Toney fight.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Hey, you know, it was a good fight. It was a chess match in the beginning.
Well, what was going on in my mind? Keep in mind now, we got to remember this shit. We were both very unexperienced being on that level of fighting. That was Tony's second world title fight. It was my first.
Right.
Until this day, that's a fight that I know in my heart that I won, but I also understand the political stuff that comes with boxing.
Right.
And I really, hey, man, it's no rocket science. All you got to do after that last bell rung, look at my corner
and look at his.
And look at his corner. Now let me tell you something, man. This is why till this day I've always watched boxing. Could you imagine a trainer, especially a chief trainer, even a fighter on the level that we've been on, saying that they don't watch boxing? I don't watch the guy fight. You got to be a fool. My coach watched the fight because he tell me what to do. No, your coach ain't gonna be taking them punches. I need to see this with my own eye.
Right.
And it's crazy. But check this out. After that James Toney fight, every once in a while I go back and watch some of the fights, and I watched that fight. No, let me tell you this first. When I got back, I was living in Long Beach, California then. When I got back and watched the whole fight on tape, I called on ABC, was coming back from commercial, and I called Patricia German, the judge that had me 4 points going into the last round. She was leaning over talking. I'm sorry, Bob Aaron was leaning over talking to her. He was sitting right behind her.
She had it like 115 to 111 or something.
Yeah, no, I think it was 115, 113, or 112 or something. She had it. Yeah. But she gave me the last round. But check this out. So I went to Marty Dinkin. Remember Marty Dinkin, the late Marty Dinkin?
Yeah.
I went to him because he was the manager, the whole guy over the mate. And he like, no, we'll get a rematch, this and that. And then, I'm like, this makes no sense. And I started to call Mr. DeMay, the guy who signed me and wrote my checks when I signed with him. And I just left it alone. But Marty Dinkin, I never felt good about that. Him not knowing that I saw that, and him not going addressing that, because that would have got me a rematch. I had his number.
That was a good fight too, and
all punches. There's never been a puncher that beat me that was supposed to be a knockout order. Lamar Parks, I was the underdog when I defended my world title when I won it against him.
Right.
Yeah, I've always did well with taking care of my health defense-wise while that bell rung.
So let me ask you this: what made you go to Argentina?
Well, let me tell you what made me go to Argentina. First of all, you remember John David Jackson? He was in L.A. then when we was out there. But I ended up, this was after me and him fought.
But y'all fought in Argentina, right?
Yeah, 2 Americans fighting in Argentina.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who does that?
Well. Let me tell you something. John David didn't just straight out come out and tell me, but let's say it like this. He knew if he would have longed to fight 112 rounds, he was going to win because he had already made a deal to go back over there and fight Jorge Castro. But he didn't go because he knew what they did to me in his fight, and they stripped him, and that's why I went over there.
Yeah.
And I went over there twice to fight Castro. Although those I got 4 political losses on my record, and I got 7 losses, but 4 of them are political losses.
Yeah.
James Toney didn't beat me. John David Jackson didn't beat me.
Hey, Castro.
Yeah, and the 2 Castro fights, I didn't. Roy Jones beat me. Antonio Tarver edged me out, and I lost my 7th pro fight in a very close fight.
Yeah. So, Jorge, you fought Jorge Castro twice over there.
Yeah, twice. So I fought in Argentina 3 times.
So after the first time you fought him, you ain't know you had to knock him out the next time?
Well, of course I knew I had to knock him out of what you call. But when you fighting when you fighting a guy, and you hit him and doing what you feel that you have to do to win a fight, it just the guy got an iron chin. And think about it, man. When I fought Castro, he had 90-something pro fights.
Yeah. So let's talk about your boy, Ole Clementson.
Ole Clementson, okay.
Yeah, Clementson.
You and I have something in common about that young man.
Yeah. Why you take so long?
You say why it took so long?
Yeah, why you went so long with him?
Well, I take fights as they come. I've never been known as a knockout artist. I'm the guy that go in there and I think a guy.
Right.
And even if I got a guy hurt, when I'm attacking him, I'm still thinking about defense and thinking about getting hit and getting my teeth knocked out.
Right. No, I'm with you on that.
As I moved up in weight, I got more aggressive because I was a small light heavyweight. I had to get more aggressive to get that respect. So I always was the thinker, and even like Mike Tyson, I think he's the greatest slugger of all time. He's the smartest slugger of all time. But no matter what your style is, you got to be smart, man. Because like they always say, man. I had a guy when I came back from California with my first 2 belts and went back to the boys club. They did a interview on me in the ring, and one of the news guys got in the ring. He said, "Oh man, Reggie, look at this, man! Wow, ooh, man, if I fight you, I can make a couple of $1 million." And I told the guy, I said, "Yeah, man, that's true." I said, "But what's the use to having a couple of $1 million? You can't function to spend it." He said, "Man, you know what? That makes sense." He said, "You know what? That makes sense. Let me get my ass out this ring."
Hey, man, I'm telling you, I always been thinking that there's life after boxing.
Right.
I wasn't never really trying to bang and slug, man. With Ole Clementson, let me tell you, I was supposed to fight him maybe 6 months prior to in Vegas. And
okay.
Emmanuel Stewart got to Vegas. We weighed in and everything. Wow. So we go to the weigh-in, and I'm leaving the weigh-in. This was at the I forgot the name of the hotel. It ain't there no more. But anyway.
It wasn't the Hilton, was it?
Nah, not the Hilton. The start with an R. The Riviera.
Okay.
And so we coming back down the escalator from the weigh-in. I'm getting ready to go get me something to eat. I'm ready to fight. This reporter comes. He goes, "Hey, man, I'm sorry that you're not fighting." I'm like, "What you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, you're not fighting." I said, "No, I'm fighting. I just weighed in. I'm about to go eat." He said, No, they got somebody else." I said, "What?" I turned around, went back upstairs. Man, they pulled me off the card because they found out that they shouldn't fight me and put somebody else in the card. And wow. I ain't get no pay, no nothing. And he was with Emmanuel Stewart then. So then I took another fight against Troy Weaver. And Troy Weaver clipped me in the first round. I was 31 seconds in the first round. I was out.
That's Mike Weaver's brother.
Right.
Okay.
So now, as far as the boxing world, my name is Mud. I'm a bum. Because I got knocked out 31 seconds like that. So I moved down to Atlanta, and I signed with a dude that I know is delivering bums. He's a trainer and a manager, but all he brings is bums. So I signed with him so I can get a fight. And I went down to Biloxi, and Emmanuel Stewart and Ole Clementson was there. and they wanted me to fight him. I said, nah, I ain't in no shape. I ain't in no shape. And I got more money for it. I forgot what it was, but I was like, nah, I'll fight him if he give me some more money. I was in shape like a mug, man. I was down here training because I was mad that I got
I was going to say, that sound like a plan right there.
Man, I was so mad I got knocked out. Oh, man. And so I took the fight, man, and he had the whole Norway there. The whole Norway was in the arena. And he forced me in the corner. And in the corner, I switched up and went southpaw and caught him with a hook. Listen, man, that was it. And if you see, it's a documentary on him on YouTube. And,
I gotta go watch that because we got into a big old fight over there when I was over there.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch the whole thing there. I just watched the part where they had me in it. And
not that documentary. I'll text you. It's the thing they did on him. But see, what happened was,
that's what I'm talking about. His documentary.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, but what I'm saying is, what happened between me and him is that promoter he had was the guy that Lennox Lewis, and Lennox Lewis had sued him. And when I got over there, he tried to put my people in a different. I said, no, my people sleep where I sleep.
Right.
And I was so pissed at that promoter over there. They going back and forth, and then they called me because I think he got a percentage of what was being paid back in Norway. And they asked us to go, can we do some stuff for him? And I told my guy, I said, yeah, I'll do it. And we went out there, was playing dominoes on the water at the hotel. And next thing I know, everybody looked over, we hear all this music. His dad, his brothers, all of them, they musically inclined. They play guitars and all that stuff. And I don't know if you know about that, but they came over with the guitars, singing all that. And we playing dominoes. And I'm like, man, this guy do all this here, do this here. He didn't tell me about this. And I told the guy, I said, man, let's go, man, let's go. And I got up and started walking, and his dad was playing the guitar, and he's singing something like, bye, Reggie, goodbye. Next thing I know, man, I done grabbed and broke the guitar, man. We got into a big old, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I gotta watch it, man. I gotta watch the whole thing, man. That's crazy.
And I feel bad about that now, man, because I'm working on this tour, and I didn't talk to them over there too, his brother, and found out that their dad is deceased. The one that Yeah. His dad passed away. Ole Clemson. Ole Clemson is he's the dirtiest fighter I've ever fought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amateur or pro, he's the dirtiest, man. The guy, and I think that's that referee I had. I can't remember his name. I don't even know where he's from, but I saw him in other fights. I think he's the worst referee that I've ever had.
Yeah. Well, when you go overseas, man, the game changed. You know how that goes.
Yeah, it's true. I know that about Argentina.
Right. The game changed, boy. The game was dirty, man.
Yeah.
In a fight that you won, who was the hardest fight that made you think the most in order to get that win?
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to put some thought into that. That's a good one, man. Let me get back with you on that one. Ask me another one. I gotta think about that. But hey, I've never been asked that before, but that's a good one right there. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's so sometimes, like in a fight, losing the fight is one thing, getting knocked out is another thing, but getting beat up is a whole different thing. And
I've never been beat up.
Yeah, I've never been beat up. Right. So, but there has been a time where I've had to talk to myself in that corner, and I've had to will my way to make myself dig deep and win. And I know that with me, that's Egerton Marcus. I know that right off the top.
Oh, I didn't know you fought that, because I know Egerton Marcus. I didn't know you fought him.
Man, let me tell you, just like you, how you had to defend your title. James Toney had to defend his title 6 weeks. That's how you fought him the first time for the title.
Right.
When I won the WBC Continental title, I defended it 28 days later.
Wow.
Against Egerton Marcus, because he was with the Duvas and my manager was trash, and they put the business together. And man, Egerton Marcus, first of all, I went out to to Rio del Sol, Mexico for training. I was sparring with Jimmy Thunder. He recently passed too.
Remember? Oh man, I hear that. I remember that Thunder. Yeah.
And man, I was running 5 miles in them hills, and I'm talking about I was in good shape.
So what weight did you fight? What weight did you fight him at?
We fought at cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight, okay.
I think cruiserweight, yeah.
Okay.
And it was on the card. It was on USA Tuesday Night Fights. I was the co-main. Chris Bird and I can't remember who he fought was the main. And it was in Flint, Michigan. Okay. Man, this joker dropped me in the first round. Edgar DeMarcus dropped me. And I'm talking about when I tell you somebody hit hard, I got up and first when he hit me, I was against the ropes and he hit me, boom. And I went back. Boom, he hit me again. Boom, he hit me again. And then I fell. And I laid out like a Jesus piece. and I heard the ref counting, and he said,
all you needed was a cross. All you needed was a cross.
Hey, man, I'm telling you. And I heard the ref counting. I said, man, I just got this title 28 days ago. And I got up. But we went 12 rounds. And I kept my title. But every time that man touched me, it hurt, even in 12 rounds.
Well, the one thing I can say about Edgar DeMarcus, I remember they came to Houston. That's when Duvin was here with Evander Holyfield, all the fighters. Yep. And that's when I first met William Guthrie, because he's left-handed too. And me and him was sparring with Edgar DeMarcus, and Marcus was getting ready to fight the guy over in Germany for the world title, light heavyweight.
Henry Maskey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. Yeah. And that's how I know Edgar DeMarcus, and that's how I met Guthrie, because I was showing him around. As a matter of fact, a young lady that I used to hang out with, he met her friend. So me and him, and then think about a year. That's why I tell you about these stories about boxing. Years later, I got to fight this same man. Right. So they're like him watching me spar Eckert, I'm watching him spar Eckert. But we never know that we was going to end up having to fight each other for a world title. Right.
So since y'all was cool, what was that like at the press conference, at the weigh-in? What was all that?
Oh, man. Oh, William Guthrie got a mouthpiece, man. He started
That's what I'm talking about. William Guthrie comes from the gutter.
He's got a mouthpiece, and he was talking, Reggie is a middleweight. He's moving up in weight. First of all, this fight wasn't even for me. It was for Frank Tate, who I lost to in the Olympic trials in '84. And Frank Tate didn't take the fight. And then the guy at the gym said, well, I got somebody to fight him, but I need to know if you got some ties to him, because he ain't going to beat the guy I'm talking about. And then the guy from HBO said, who? He said, Reggie Johnson. He said, get that out of here, man. He said, Reggie is a middleweight. He said, Reggie will take the fight. This is a fight he'll win. And that's how that whole fight happened.
Yeah.
That's how the whole fight happened.
So after you knocked him out and took his title, what's the relationship like?
No, I still whenever I go to I do an East Coast charity tour every year, and whenever I go there, I always call to try to hook up with him. For the last 5-6 years, I've always talked to him, but we was never in a position to meet. But as a matter of fact,
I know y'all probably cool now, but right after the fight, what was that like?
oh man, it was a beautiful thing, because this is what happened. We all celebrated, went to sleep, and I got a knock on my door the next morning, my hotel room, and I opened the door. It was Guthrie by himself.
Yeah.
And he said, I just want to congratulate you, man. He said, man, I'm just glad I woke up.
Yeah. That's my dude. That's my man. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Guthrie is a good dude. Yeah.
So, man, you fought for the world title. You're not fought for it. You won the world title 3 times. Mm-hmm. The Hall of Fame. What's the status?
It's just like when you say boxing. What's gonna happen? What's the status? Hey, once again, you got to add the politics and all that stuff that come with that as well. Yeah. As a matter of fact, someone just put an article out, got a young picture of me when I was middleweight and a young picture of Arturo Gatti, And some guys spoke on my behalf, man. It's amazing when you go on up and read that. And he was just saying that, you know, how could Arturo Gatti be in the Hall of Fame and Reggie Johnson's not in there? And they got our pictures on there. I had to send you that.
Yeah.
But and they talked about the Hall of Fame, and then they said some negative, but I have to say true things about the Hall of Famers, those guys who vote people in. But you know, one of the worst things I experienced that really messed with me, because you know my thing, if I get in, I'm in. I'm not going. Everybody want to be in the Hall of Fame, especially if you know you put the work and you deserve to be in there. But I'm not going to lose sleep about that. I'm not going to.
Right.
I don't want to lose sleep. But check this out. One year I was there when Tommy Hearns got inducted. And see, this is why I'm working on to bring fighters together so we can change the business structure, come up with a union pension, and have some type of, you know, structure for boxers where we control some of this stuff. Listen to me, man. Don't you know Tommy Hearns got up there and talked, and he didn't even acknowledge the only man that beat him twice? That would have got that. Iran Barkley would be in there. Barkley was going through some stuff. He's just standing back there by what you call. And I'm just waiting for Tommy to mention this guy. Now, if that would have been me, I would have said I want to introduce y'all to another future Hall of Fame. The only man who can only say he beat me twice.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he knocked me out the first time. I want a future Hall of Fame. Iran Barkley. That would have got Barkley in. That man should have been in there.
Yep.
Don't you agree with that?
Oh, 100. I was a sparring partner.
Yeah.
I was a sparring partner for both the fights with Hearns.
Oh, you serious? I never knew that.
And Darren Van Horn. Yeah.
Okay, I know Van Horn too, because he used to be in the gym with us in Houston for a while. But see, that's why I'm saying, man, fighters got to come together, man. We gotta, hey, man, we gotta set this ego thing aside when we go in this room and all of us sit down and say, man, because think about it, man. Boxing is in our blood, so it might be in one of our sons, nephews, or one of our family members' blood. They're going to have to put up with the same thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change the narrative.
That's right, absolutely. Yeah.
Change the narrative, man. So let me ask you this, man. Through your endeavors in boxing, you've been in the ring with everybody. Who was the best fighter? Who was the hardest fight? And who was the easiest title fight? Well,
I think, let me start with the easiest title fight. And let me tell you the story behind this here. I was with Dan Goose and them then, 10 Goose.
Right.
And he wanted me to fight the Korean guy who was rated number 8. And the guy only had like about 12 or 13 pro fights. And I'm telling Dan Goose, hey, man, I don't want this type of stuff on my record. I'm from the cloth of Ali. I'm the world champ. I'll fight it. I go somewhere. I want to fight somebody, you know. And but guess how he got me to take that fight? He told me, he said, listen, Reggie, Terry Norris is fighting Julian Jackson.
Yeah.
He take care of Julian, he move up to 60 and fight you. You take care of the Korean. This is the fight gonna happen. Y'all make 1.2, 1.5 million apiece.
Right.
That's why I took that fight. And I think I stopped the dude in the 8th round, and that was my easiest world title fight, I would say.
Yeah.
But you know what happened with that? I stopped the Korean, but Terry Norris, I think he got stopped by Julian Jackson.
Yeah.
So that fight didn't come to pass.
Yeah, that Julian Jackson boy, that joker has some crack.
Oh yeah, he's a great puncher, and that's a fight. I was at the business table to fight him too. That fight never happened. And that's Jeremy McCullough. There's a lot of Eubanks, Nigel Ben, all those guys. Man, it was so many great fights I've missed out on that you know I would have loved to have fought. I would love to have a rematch with James Toney first and foremost.
Yeah.
And you know this.
Well, you look like you're still in a little shape. James still is around the gym. I'm sure we can make it happen.
Yeah, well, as long as we can make that money happen, we can make anything happen. hey, you'll come back and fight Butterbean if enough money is on the table, right?
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy, Reggie Buzzman. So who was the best fighter you ever fought?
Oh, by far, Roy Jones. He was the only guy that I couldn't really,
But you fought Tarver, and Tarver knocked Roy out.
Yeah. But Roy Jones was you say who was the best fighter I fought? It was what you call. Did you see me and Tarver fight? They say it was a split decision. People come and tell me, "Oh, Reggie, you won that fight." Nah, I didn't win the fight. I keep it real, man. No, Tarver won that fight. You know, I had Tarver down in the ninth round. But he won the fight. He won the fight, and that's the first time I ever experienced it. I got a busted eardrum, and I never knew what that did to your equilibrium and your taste buds. And I can remember about 4 or 5 rounds, all I could hear was. Yeah. Have you ever been hit in the ear like that and heard that? Okay, yeah.
I heard about it.
I had. As a matter of fact, I had to have a surgery after that fight, and that's not making no excuse.
I never heard nothing about the taste buds. I think that's that Rona. When your taste buds go away, that's that coronavirus.
No. Hey, don't say that, brother. hey,
God forbid.
You gonna make me put my mask on? Don't do that. Oh, please don't say that.
Yeah. God forbid, man. God forbid.
But Tarver was let me tell you something, man. Whenever you fight somebody, and when you beat them, and they still come back and fight on that level and win world titles, I mean, man, you got to respect that because, even though I thought I won that fight with James Toney, I still had to come back. A lot of people don't come back. Sometimes mentally they be messed up.
Yeah.
No matter how they lose that first fight, they never like I tell you, we have a fighter here in Houston, Hispanic fighter, and I think he's on the what team was it? The U.S. team, but he fought for the world title 5 times and he never won it.
It still says a lot about him because in order for him to keep getting back in that position,
he absolutely
have a hell of a team, or he did his thing. He was a hell of a fighter.
Right, that's right. How many people get a chance to fight for a world title 5 times? And you're right, but it shows a lot about our guy because he in Houston, because for him to to position himself to get in that, and then little politics added to that. You got to be with the right people. If you ain't got to,
like I always say, the politics can open the door for you, but you got to keep it open.
That's right. You got to keep it open.
You got to keep it open, man. So
that's very well said. That's right. I'm gonna use that. That's a good one.
That's right. Yeah. So what is your greatest moment in your boxing career? Now you won 3 world championships. So it could be any one of those, but it doesn't have to be. So I mean, throughout boxing, what is your biggest accomplishment or your greatest moment?
I think my biggest
have to be your accomplishment. It could be just your greatest moment, whatever that is.
I think.
Besides meeting me.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's it. That was it's hard to beat that, man. You're a straight up guy, and because man, when you got back up like Layla Ali, you're a hard man to beat. hey, you're a hard man to beat, and a hard man not to like. But check this out, man. People always ask me, man, what was your greatest moment in boxing? And it was a loss. I think the fight with Roy Jones was my big. Even though I came up short, I think just think about the history that it took him and me both to do. I think the light heavyweight division hadn't been unified since the 80s, early 80s with Michael Spinks. Right. And during that time in the 90s, Roy Jones was the best pound for pound fighter and one of the greatest of all time. They said so, and me being getting knocked down twice and getting up, and at the end of the day, the judges had to call out who won the fight. Those I think that was my greatest accomplishment, and really to size that up, being the greatest. You know, that was the most money I ever made in a 12-round fight in a boxing.
Okay, well, let that be the reason then, because I know winning that title had to feel better than losing to Roy Jones.
No. Well, losing to anybody. It ain't got to be Roy Jones. It could be anybody. You know, it hurts.
Winning the title had to be better than that. But when you lost to Roy and got that money, now that made everything a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. Because think about it, man. Even when you started boxing, you if you didn't know there was somewhere you could get paid for it, you still would be doing it, right?
Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So my heart and my love is still for boxing. So, but then we get to we mature to the point to where, hey, man, this is business. This is how we eat. This is how we feed our family, take care of our responsibilities. So, you know, based on that, you're right. You know, that was a huge accomplishment, man. Come on, man. I come from the hood. We come from, you know, where we come from, the bottom, and then you've got to the point to where you people all over the world watching you fight the best fighter pound for pound.
Exactly. You out kicking it all over the world, and we end up hanging out at what was that studios in Hollywood? Raleigh Studio. Yeah. Hanging out in Raleigh Studios in Hollywood. Who's that? Me, you, Layman Brewster, Larry Musgrove, Montel Griffin, and there's one more. Thought there might have been one more person.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look at that picture, but
I gotta look at that picture, man. But that was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was great times, man. And even when we was at LA Box Gym, I think I remember when the day that Layla Ali walked in there, started boxing. What year was that? That was like '88, wasn't it? '89 or something like that?
No. That was in '99, man.
It wasn't in '99 because I fought Roy in '99. Man, and I was training. Oh no, you're right. It was in the late '90s. It had to be like '98 because me and Guthrie fought in '98.
It might have been the end of '98.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking because I had already beat. But you know what? You could be right because I trained because I was going back and forth. I still had my place in Long Beach, but what I did was I came to LA to train for that fight. You might be right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah. To train at LA boxing.
Yeah.
Hey man, so you speak to Musgrove?
Yeah, I spoke to Musgrove. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to see him because he had a layover, but I got tied up and couldn't see him. He was going to Atlanta for the holidays, I think for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed him. And but I talk to him all the time.
Yeah, man, you gotta link us up again, man. I ain't spoke to Musgrove in forever, man.
Okay, yeah. I'll send you his number and who else number I told you I was gonna send you.
Man, you know, then there's that part of boxing too.
Oh yeah, you forget. Yeah, I always, Hey, both of us can't say we didn't get hit at all.
Oh man.
Hey, but it always come back to me. I don't know about you, but it come back to me.
It'll come back to me. Not on my own though. Sometimes I need a little inspiration. Somebody got to say something that's gonna stir something up.
Yeah. I forgot. There's something else I was supposed to send you, man. We just talked about that. That's crazy, man. But
hey, I'll go back and watch the tape, but then I'll call you and tell you.
Yeah. That's good. Hey, but you know what? You always, I think you spoke about that recently about the fighters that you can't really communicate with because you know, it's bad, man. And you think about all the money that's generated in two guys getting in the ring to fight, a fight card, and these boxers that put their lives and their health on the line. They have no control over it. They have nothing in place like the NFL, the NBA, the National Baseball League. Bro, right. we fighters got to come together and take a stand. It's time to out the boxing being the only sport where the rat dictate the lines. That's got to quit, man.
Yeah, man, because it's like you said, there needs to be some type of pension put in place, some type of retirement fund, something that, you know, a fighter has to look back on. Most of us come from the bottom, and therefore we are not used to that kind of money. We're not used to having it. We're not used to seeing it. And then when we get it, it's not hard. It's hard to hold on. It's hard to hold on to.
Absolutely, especially when you come from the hood, because you think all your family, all your friends, everybody gonna call you. I used to have people calling me, telling me, "Listen, Joe, ain't so and so, ain't how you related? How you related to me, man?"
Yeah, exactly. You get calls from everybody.
Yeah. So you know, this is some stuff, man. We got a
But
lot
when
of
you
work
first
to
turned
do.
pro, you couldn't get nobody to come to your fight.
Oh well.
I mean, you get your real family, but I'm just saying.
But let me tell you something about when I turned pro at 17. My mother signed my contract. They had a lady here named Josephine Abercrombie. You ever heard of her?
Yeah. She was
signing everybody.
Yep.
And then she brought Hearns here. She brought Duran and a whole bunch of. She had Iran Barkley.
Yeah.
For a while, and that's who signed Frank Tate.
Yep.
Thomas Tate, all them guys, and whole Lou Savarese. She signed everybody, man. Built a brand new state-of-the-art gym here and all this stuff. But when they see my late mentor, Mr. Carter, when they signed Frank Tate, he said, "Oh no, that's not gonna be good because you fought him in the they're gonna be, and he won a gold medal. They're gonna be focused on him. Y'all gonna be in the same weight class, and y'all gonna end up meeting in the pros." He said, "Nah." But, you know, everything happened for a reason, because Mr. Carter went and found a group that wasn't even boxing related. I wouldn't have never got $250,000 if them people were boxing people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Signing
You see what I'm saying? Right. So everything worked out good for me. And even though those people, they didn't stay in the business real long, but by the time they got out, I was on my way, man.
So you really do have the Ali story. You started boxing at 12. You had a group of investors to come on and manage you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, that's my hero in and out the ring, man. And I got the chance to really spend some time with Ali, man. There'll never be another Muhammad Ali. I always ask people this. Just imagine. Now, I'm not talking about the old Ali, this and that, but think about the seasoned, matured Ali being the president of the United States. Man, this nation, this world will be a better place, brother.
Man, what
if
you
we had somebody
about?
Like Ali.
Man, look, the man went over to Saddam Hussein and talked to him and had him free the hostages, man.
I remember that, yes.
Who else can do that?
Nobody.
Exactly. The world would be at peace, man. You right.
Nobody.
Man.
If the president would have tried to, who was the president in? If he would have tried to go over there, they would have blew his plane up.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, man. But the one person we didn't talk about, and I bring this up because you probably was partners with the best female fighter, one of the best female fighters of all time, Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields. We didn't talk about her. We just didn't talk about her. What do you think about her?
Fighter. I think that she has done something that no other fighter, male fighter or female American has done, and that's to go to 2 Olympics and win gold.
2 golds.
Right, to win 2 gold medals. So, I mean, her accolades are up there. Now, that can't be denied. No one can ever take that away from her. Her championships that she's winning, no one can ever take away from her.
Mm-hmm.
But if she mess around and get in the ring with Layla.
Wrong idea.
Hey. No. You already answered that, because that was my next question. I hear this thing is out there about Layla coming back and all this here. But check this out, man. This is what really bothered me, like when we was talking about Brona. Like you said, you can't take nothing what Clarissa Shields has done, man. But I just don't like the way they, you know how much money they leaving on the table with the what Michael Jordan did with endorsement money and all that stuff. You know how much money?
Yeah.
Mike was getting more money endorsement money than he was getting paid to play basketball.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think Clarissa Skills is she a real beautiful black woman. I just think that like I say, man, the people you have around you, man, that's my only worry with her. But she's talented and she can fight and
well, yeah,
and, you know,
I mean, it's about a complete package, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the complete package. Yes, Layla, of course, she had the name Ali, but like I said, that Ali name opened the doors, but Layla kept the doors open.
Oh yeah, Ali couldn't fight for her.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she kept the doors open, and you know, so that people don't get it twisted. Like I haven't spoken to Layla since we left the divorce courtroom. You know.
Oh man, are you serious?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to her since. I mean, she's happily married. I'm happily married. I have nothing to say against her. But whenever someone asks me about it, I got to keep it 100. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I got to keep it 100. And so, you know, as far as Clarissa Shields messing with Layla, it's not going to end well. Layla is for real.
Now let me ask you this question: do you think that you know what? Let me tell you this here. I think that would be good for female boxing for Layla to come back and fight her.
Absolutely.
I think the people, and I like the business they got laid out. You heard about they got for that fight 15 million. The winner get 10 and the loser get 5 million.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's still a win-win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, whoever loses going home with the bag, so it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But as far as Clarissa Shields beating Layla, Layla fight for real. She hits too hard. She throws too many punches. She's too big. She's fast. And like one time, I can't remember who she was fighting, but at one of the press conferences, one of the girls told Layla, "Oh, I gotta beat you. I'm gonna win this fight because this all I got." And Layla said, "Well, I'm gonna beat you." No, she said, the girl told Layla, "I'm gonna beat you because I have to box. This is all I got." And Layla told her, "I'm gonna beat you because," no, she said, "I'm gonna beat you and I don't have to box. I do it because I love it." She said, "I don't have to box. I do it because I love it." And and I mean, that kind of mentality, I mean, Layla Ali, she ain't nothing to play with.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That's all we have time for this week. If you like the show, please hit the subscribe, tell a friend, and share. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop the chitter chatter and get ready for what matters. You know, it's Tuesday Night Fight Talk. My name's Jaya McClain. I'm a former two-time cruiserweight champion of the world, and I'm your host, and this is my show. Now let's go!